Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better. At Aquavita, visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Oh man, well, now I can finally actually settle down and play some Armored Core for a change. It's good to see a mech game get some high marks. Oh lord, what? Whoa. Hey, Al sent me something. Man, I don't read no damn Kotaku article. Oh. PlayStation Plus prices are going up. And AI monitoring is active for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 going into Modern Warfare 3. Ha! Damn. What a world we live in. Ah, well. Hey, look, you know what? Armor Core is going to have to wait. Let's go ahead and talk about this one. Since I'm already on the show anyway, welcome to the J-Man Show here on
J360 Radio!
Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better. At Aquavita, visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, how's it going, J360 Legion? What is happening? Welcome to the J-Man Show for episode 307. Yes, that's right, 307. 306 happened as part of a little double special last week, but, as we keep moving forward, it's still the same show and still the same happening host. I'm J-Man, of course, and let's get into it, as you know. Alright, for those of you that love the Power Play series, guess what? That show is still going on. And not to mention, me and a good friend of mine, we have something special for you all happening for episode 50. Will it be this week? I don't know, but you guys are going to have to stay tuned to see what happens next week. But like I said, the reason why I bring up the Power Play series is I also have to keep an eye on, the video game market and stuff. And I've noticed that Sony is upgrading their prices. Yeah. Everything is going up, baby. So pretty much everything that you're spending on the 3-tier system of PlayStation Plus is going up by $40. You cannot make this up. Al happily sent this to me via Kotaku article, and since I hate Kotaku, I decided to get my news elsewhere. But it's a whole thing with me and Al. But the whole point is that yes, it is very true. By $40. Yeah. But you know what? I'll be honest with you. Everything's going up. There is no sign of anything else stopping. I think all of inflation is just starting to just keep piling up. You would think deflation would come in and change everything, but have you looked at the costs of other things around you outside of video games? It's just even the video games are not cheap, but they seem to be the most reasonable. Outside of other things that we need to get on with our days and stuff like that, or go to work, car prices are ridiculous. Housing prices are just astronomically ridiculous. Good Lord, I want to get out of this apartment soon, damn it. But more and more barriers are coming about the woodwork. But let me just tell you this. I'm not here to make a show to tell you that you don't have any hope. You do have hope. It's just going to take, once again, a lot of all of us to get through this stuff. But let's go ahead and keep it keep it small scale and talk about video games for right now, even though, is video games small scale? I don't really think so. But you see, like, when it comes to all these things, like, all these peripherals we buy, like, take a look at, like, your controller prices and stuff. Like, most of the time you have to spend, like, what, around, like, $79 or $80 or so just to have a controller. You got to spend, like, $80 to have a complete game. Season passes, y'all. Think about it. Like, all in all, like, this stuff is not going to be cheap. And at the end of the day, we all kind of knew this. Everything was going to go up significantly anyway. And now you could say it's rise of technology, you could say it's because of inflation, you could say like any sort of excuse that you want to say in the book. And at the end of the day, it all really just comes down to greed. You know, like you look at like some of these some of these companies that we pump a lot of our hard-earned money into, and you think the one thing that they could do is keep stuff reasonable for us, or just like don't mess with how much we pay for the service. I mean, the subscription at best, you know, like, you would think that we pay for a lot of those things. And you see Sony, whenever we go ahead and we buy their stuff, they have, like, free games for us, but they're not really top-tier games and stuff. Even though it really depends, because there was time where they had God of War 4 on there, but God of War Ragnarok came out around the same time. So it's like, yeah, who's messing with who here? And then even then, you're trying to think of what exactly is it a game you're interested in or not. I mean, it just really depends on the game, or it depends on, like, what tier you bought. See, for me, myself, because I still have my older PlayStations and everything, I don't go for, like, the premium or, like, the gold top tier for PlayStation Plus. So it doesn't bother me as much. I just have my essentials. See what I'm saying? But for those of you out there that really, you know, went all in on like some of the newer stuff and everything, you got to think about what's most value to you. And I figure this, the increase doesn't go into effect until like September 6th, so you still got time. And I think like for those that are already like 2 or 3 years in, we ain't got nothing to worry about until like them 2 or 3 years are up, and then it's all about, are we going to go for this or not? And by that time, we might have enough scratch to go ahead and cover up what we need. But it's just weird to me, like, how we're at this point. But, you know what I mean? Like, think about the timetable, too. The timetable for this increase would be right now as we are starting to get newer games. And also as we are, you know, yeah, new Call of Duty's coming. Like, I don't know whether you guys are excited or just like, whatever about it right now. But by the time November comes in, we shall see, won't we? Because, I mean, like, even the Madden crowd was really quiet this year. It's strange. I mean, like, the one that was making noise was Al, but anybody else, nobody really cared about Madden. It's wild, too, man. I mean, Madden 23 must have really left a sour taste in people's mouths and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But going back into my original point, when it comes right down to certain news topics that you're into, such in my case right now, video game news, always pay attention to the timetable when this stuff shows up. It's amazing because, see, now you can start buying more PlayStation 5s. And now you're going to raise the price of the service that is essential in order to actually compete online. That's just very, very interesting. Not to mention that Gamepass also had an increase not too long ago, but see, it's one of those things where you got to catch it. Because, see, if it isn't Xbox doing something, then it's Sony doing something. Because I remember a long time ago when Sony tried to get rid of the PlayStation 3 and Vita store, and like all of us spoke out in outrage about it, they recanted their statement. Or kind of like that point where Xbox was about to do something shady, and, you know, we spoke out about it, and they just left it alone. I think it had something to do with price increases at one time, or there was something that they were trying to pull and it backfired on them really, really bad. But once again, it's the fanboys that come in there and say, ha ha, you know, ha ha Xbox, ha ha PlayStation, when at the same time you really need to pay attention to both companies, because isn't it amazing how, like, we pay for all this stuff but we really don't get the services rendered like we should? We should be actually, those of us that have PlayStations, now that we pay for it, we should be able to compete with Xbox gamers on any game. Crossplay should not be an option at all. It should really not matter at this point about what we all as gamers use in order to combat a lot of our compatriots and rivals and so on. But you see, here's the thing. They raising all this stuff up, then you need to have like a better service. You need to have better video games. You need to have better things for us. And, also, like, Game Pass is great. I'm not going to knock it. Like, the Game Pass service, it's pretty convenient. Like, say, like, if you don't have the money at the time or you're unsure about a game, and if that game happened to be on Game Pass for a little bit, you go ahead and you play it, and you actually get your fill, and you're like, yeah, I like this. And then, it could be delisted at any time, but once it's delisted, you already know and experience this game enough to, hey, let me just go ahead and buy the thing a little later. Kind of like renting. Well, actually, it is renting, but, it is what it is. And see, like, PlayStation has been stumbling trying to get something to compete with it, so which is why they changed their whole thing. But in a way, it really depends on exactly what you get out of both services. You understand what I'm saying? More value is what I mean. And I've said that earlier about, like, value and all that stuff. Like, you really got to think about the value of things when you spend money on it. Because as things go up, your wages will not. All right? As you go to certain jobs, chances are they talk about the family speech. They talk about why you're not getting a bonus because, hey, after all, those that are on the board, they kind of wanted to, add on to their house, so there your bonus goes. And they'll happily give you a damn pizza party, though. I mean, they'll spend money for pizza and get you fat, but they're not going to get your wallet fat. You see what I'm saying? Long time ago, that one income made a difference. Nowadays, you got to have two to go ahead and make the difference, and even then, that's debatable because, like, something's trying to dip you one way or another. It's sad. Like, the whole outcome of things regarding, like, trying to make money, trying to be, like, the best worker you can be, or trying to run your own gets harder all the time. And do they care about you? Well, no. They don't give a damn at all. With the way they're trying to do stuff nowadays, they try to make it seem like humans are not a resource at all. Now, I don't care how fancy AI is. There has to be somebody to maintain that AI. You know what I mean? AI can't do it all, bruh. I mean, like, somebody has to be sitting over there checking it and looking over it, making sure it's functioning right, because stuff can't sustain itself like you think it does, Like, everybody will use a Terminator meme, and that's cute and everything, but it ain't no Terminator meme going on, bruh. Like, you can go ahead and cut your workforce down. You can go ahead and say that you're saving pennies off the dollar like you need to. I mean, some of these people make stupid money based off of salary alone, and you can see some of that stuff. And it's like, you just notice how out of touch certain people up at the top are because, well, that's just where they are. They don't look down. They ain't worried about, like, anybody else that's really scrapping and trying to do what they got to do. So they're finding a way to sponge money off of anything. Be it our art, be it things that are cultivating us, and be it things that actually give us meaning in this crazy time. And that includes video games too. And it's a shame. It really is. But the worst part about it all is, though, nowadays they don't even want you to be yourself. Like, AI monitoring is one of the most evil friggin' things I have ever seen in my life. Because at the end of the day, we live in a time where people are overwhelmed by choice and cannot be responsible for themselves, let alone the money that they spend. And among other things, if it goes wrong, hey, it's the company's fault, right? It's never like user responsibility. That doesn't exist. AI, on the other hand, can go ahead and do the job for you. Yep, because, hey, how to be authoritative without trying to show that you're being authoritative? And going above and beyond to be the manager of life that these Karens would like you to be. Use AI. Technology, right? Oh, man. Look. Stop right now. Because as I go about saying this crap, this is real. Because, like, these video game companies, I think Sony was a big push for this. Xbox started pushing for it, too. Where, like, hey, let's go ahead and listen in on their conversations. Maybe we can help protect people this way. Maybe we could actually help people, feel safe and all that kind of stuff. Because words hurt. Words used to have meaning a long time ago. People do whatever the hell they want to do nowadays. They make stuff up, When it comes to classification, people don't want to be classified as anything. But at the same time, though, watch what you say on, like, a video game and all that stuff. It's sad but true. Because, like, there are people who are getting banned or people who are getting, like, shut down based off of, like, saying any sort of crazy-ass statements and stuff like this. Like, a long time ago, when, you know, like Call of Duty was thriving, like everybody played Call of Duty. I can't think of anybody who didn't. You know what I mean? Especially during like the PlayStation, like even with the PlayStation 2 time or going into PlayStation 3 era. PlayStation 3 era was when it was huge, along with Xbox 360. And, you know, like, everybody would say a whole bunch of wild stuff, post, like, crazy things, be pissy at each other, and then, like, in the lobby, the arguments would continue. But then there would be moments in the lobbies where, like, people would come to consensus and say, hey, that was a pretty good game, wasn't it? Yeah. Hey, let's go ahead and play again. All right, well, fuck all of y'all. Yeah, let's go ahead and get back into it. You know what I mean? Like, lobby rooms were just amazing. Like, you can find, like, some of the most best, worst, and stupid conversations all within, like, the same time frame. Because, like, once again, you're out there with a whole bunch of people going through different lifestyles, and, like, you know, you're bringing them into your home in a way. And then, of course, they're going to say that you're a noob, or they're going to say that you suck. They're going to say all these things about you until you start whooping their ass, and then you start getting all the care packages and just, like, destroying and dominating the map, which at the same time, they say you're a cheater anyway, so... That's the life of playing Call of Duty. But the reason why I bring up Call of Duty like this is because now they're pushing out AI monitoring on it. I mean, I think the latest update for Modern Warfare 2 Remake actually has that now. Where, like, this company called Modulate is working with Activision, and their whole thing is called ToxMod, where it actually listens to whatever you and your clan or group or whatever is saying. And I'm sitting there thinking this, I'm like, who wanted this? Who in the hell is so socially deprived and so, like, fragile to the point where you need this? You might as well have, like, a tattle app going on nowadays, which that pretty much is. And everybody's sitting there like, oh my god, this is going to change the landscape. I feel really safe about it. You know, the ones that complain the most about feeling threatened and stuff like that, I wonder if they actually have played Call of Duty as long as, like, you or I have. I mean, like, in my day, oh god, here I go. In my day, you could well, we had recess for one thing, but also, you could get in a fight and then end up being, like, friends afterwards, because you got all of your frustrations out and all those other things. And not only that, you grew up knowing this one basic truth. You're great and everything, but not other people will see you as such. Not other people will like you. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, I don't know what this social climate is, but it's so damn ridiculous where people are trying to make it seem like, hey, you know what? Everybody's supposed to like me. Everybody's supposed to give me 10 praises for every flaw I have. I'm like, are you fucking serious? There is no reason on earth to even think that you are entitled to such. Alright, now there might be some people out there that like you. There might be some people out there that respect you. There might be some people out there that think you're amazing. But not everybody does. Not the whole damn block does. I guarantee there's some people that really think you suck, think less of you, and you know what? Probably think you stink. And the fact that you're over here just making a problem out of anything, you know, based on, like, probability alone, because you probably are not. The idea that even your own presence is a problem to somebody is very true out there. You may have at least one enemy, and 9 times out of 10, it might be you yourself. But you see, this whole thing about mental health and coddling and all these other things, mental health is important. Alright? Like, there are times where I say I don't care about your mental health because you don't do anything about your mental health. That's the reason why I say that. You know what I mean? If you don't care, what the hell make you think I would care? You know? I bring this up to people that I know all the time, the ones that feel as though they're not loved and all that kind of stuff. You're loved, but you're probably not loved in the way that you expect it to be. People's expectations and what really happens are two very different things. And you see, that also comes by, like, when it comes to talking and speaking on, like, you know, online voice chats and all that kind of stuff. And you hear me here, and there are times where, guess what? I'm not politically correct, and I never will be. And I don't need somebody to redirect me and try to, you know, come and say, hey, you can't be talking like that. Hey, yes, I can. You know what I mean? Like, I am free to speak and think the way I want to. The only thing I'm not free from is consequences. And when consequences present themselves, well, don't you think I'm mature enough and smart enough to know what consequences are? You got to think about it. it's just really interesting now because, like, you need AI to go ahead and tell you how to behave and all that jazz. I never did. I already friggin' know because I'm not tone deaf and I don't lack awareness. A lot of people lack awareness. And, there are moments where, like, some people are toxic and need to get banned and need to get blocked off of video games and all that kind of stuff. Like, say if you're playing a Street Fighter match and you're winning and this fool's over here losing his mind because, well, what his tactic and skills were, they're not on your level, and guess what? They need to change it up. And people are so against change and all that kind of stuff. He over here having a bitch fest where you just wanted to play a video game. You know what I'm saying? Run the set a little bit. It used to be like you can enjoy yourself and all. And nowadays people don't want to hear that stuff. People don't want to see you have like self-expression and not a care in the world. They want you to give a damn about all these other first world problems and all these other things that really have no meaning unless somebody that's involved in the situation does something about it. And when it's a situation that doesn't concern you, you expect that person to go ahead and do something about it? That's nuts. You understand? And like if you're playing Call of Duty, if you're playing video games, which like me, if you're playing video games with me, I allow cussing. I allow you to get your point across. I allow you to speak and be yourself. Because you know why? Because you're not me, and that's the beauty of it. I might as well be talking to myself then. And like with this whole thing with this monitoring, it can backfire something awful because AI only goes after like what they think is a problem. It's no different than having like an algorithm. You know what I mean? Like it'll go after what it deems offensive based on accuracy of offense. Like say like if some people just say hell all the time and they go ahead and they make hell a viable offense and all that stuff, which at the same time, oh, it's swearing, it's cussing and all that stuff. Like there are people that even say hell's cussing. Isn't that weird? But yeah, they're prudes. They're out here doing that kind of stuff because they want to control you. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if AI started becoming everybody's manager at one point, if not already. Like, you have to act a certain way, you have to talk a certain way, you have to be a certain way. Oh, you have to check this. Oh, you have to do all that stuff. Oh, the AI's controlling my life. Yeah, it controls you more than you think. And now what you have it going into, like, listening in on people talking stuff, what if that AI pretty much doesn't understand your pattern of speech? You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing how, like, people will try to say, it's been doing years and years of studying on human language and NLPs and all sorts of other ways to really pinpoint exactly what is the problem in the diction and the overall presentation of the speech. But not everybody speaks and understands the same. And that's a human, that's a human reaction. See, everything's all highly reactionary, and, there are people who don't understand comedy, and they're doing whatever they can to silence comedy. But you got AI coming into one of the most passionate and aka toxic franchises known to the video game world. Actually, known to the world. It's not even just a video game thing anymore. People know around November time, as usually Call of Duty. Just like the same time they know around August is usually Madden time. Or just like they know around like earlier than August, it could be May or June. I think Street Fighter 6 came out, and did it come out in May? I think it did, yeah. So, that's like Street Fighter time. One way or another, when it comes down to competition, there's always somebody trash talking. There's always somebody that's utilizing like moments where like they probably don't act this way in real life, but when they're in competition, yeah, they act this way. And you should expect it. Like, a long time ago, and you'll see this on, like, video game commercials, probably even now, like, when it says that online interactions are not rated by the ESRB, because how are you going to rate the way somebody talks? You don't know what the hell somebody's going through. And it's just weird to me, because, like, people will judge people on the way that they speak and the tone that comes across, when at the same time, not everybody operates on the same level like that. There are people that are probably going through a squeeze on their job, or they probably don't have enough money to make ends meet, or probably sitting over there just wondering, like, where do they go from here, like, what their next move is, like, it's a whole list of factors why people act the way that they do. And when it comes to video gaming, much like going to the gym, it could be like different results at any kind of time. I mean, you don't see people at the gym when they're boxing against a punching bag and, like they're cussing under their breath and all that kind of stuff and everything. Like, that happens. Like, some of us, we just go through a hard time and, it just really depends on the season. But you're over here censoring us and trying to make this your problem when it has nothing to do with you. That's when, like, you get slapped down and all that kind of stuff because you don't know what the hell's going on. And there's no way you're going to possibly helping. You're going to make it worse. You ever meet people who do that? Like, they step in, but they don't know what the context is, and they end up making everything worse. So now it's not only the main mess you have to clean up, but now you have to clean up all of that mess too. There are people out there that go above and beyond with their stupidity. Heart's in the right place, but the mindset is not together. And I always say that about the people around here who design AI. Yeah, AI is great. Like, AI at best is a tool, and I've been saying that for years. It's a tool to help improve things for the right reasons, but the problem is, what is the right reasons? You know what I'm saying? Like, what exactly is the right reason, and how many people in the wrong hands can misuse that right reason? And the thing about it is, as soon as that stuff became public access, you knew there was a problem going to happen. Now, I don't want to have y'all live in paranoia, fear, and all that stuff. No, not at all. Don't be paranoid. Because today's AI is pretty much running at a rapid rate of today's average human. And the average human can be pretty damn dense sometime. So you got to think about that. But, you also got to think broken clock is right twice a day, too. At all times. But like I say, don't be all wrapped up in like Terminator memes, sci-fi stuff. Just be aware of this kind of stuff and just understand, like, maybe I don't have to use the in-game chat on Call of Duty. I'm not going to name any peripherals here because I don't know who listens to the show now, do I? Not entirely. So, but whatever sort of way you figure it out with your homies and stuff, figure it out that way. And when you upload it to YouTube or whatever, because God knows everybody's private life is everybody's public story. Yeah. And don't act like, your privacy's already been shafted and stuff like that when you hear about AI monitoring, because, ladies and gentlemen, our privacy has been down the tubes for years. I mean, anytime you got a webcam or you got a smart TV, for your streaming and all that jazz, they watching you. They out there looking at you and everything. That's why anytime I'm dealing with this stuff, I'm always like, hey, let's give the people a show. Anything that you have that has a camera on it and you can look and see in there, the big company that runs that stuff can see it too. It's right there in front of you. Black boxes all over. I'm sure, like, those of you that are actually videoing your children and stuff, utilizing automated services and stuff, you got all the memories you need right there as soon as they get ready to go to college and go through the same crazy shit that we've done. Probably even crazier at that point. But when it comes right down to it, do not be surprised and don't go into the whole privacy argument. It's not here anymore. Now, unless you're one of those people that did not upgrade their TV and do not have to worry about, like, the streaming boxes and all that kind of stuff built in, you probably have, like, streaming boxes on the outside and all that kind of stuff. You kind of safe. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Or any of y'all that use, like, payphones, because there are some payphones still in service. But, a long time ago, you never really had to go to technology unless you needed it at that moment. See, nowadays, technology is so ingrained with everything we do. And you wonder why, people are always tracked and all this other stuff, or they're trying to ban you off of things that you love to do. It's a whole list of factors. But like I say, I wonder who's going through life that hypersensitive to the point where, like, you need stuff like this. I always wonder that, because not me. You can say whatever the hell you want to say. All I know is you ain't no friend or kin to me, so I don't have to take care of you. And the moment you do something really, really stupid, I'm going to throw your ass out. You can go over there and haunt whatever the fuck you want to haunt, but the truth is, I'm not going to have it float around where I'm at. Especially if I ain't in the mood to hear the dumbassery. That's just the way that is. See, a long time ago, some of y'all want control over things, but you forget what you have control over. And when it comes to companies that run AI properties and all that kind of stuff, they're hoping that you do not know about that sort of thing so they can control you. If anything, AI is going to start becoming everybody's manager after a while. You know the one. Not like a showbiz manager and all that stuff. Oh, yeah, that'll happen eventually. But I'm talking like, store manager. Somebody to come and maintain order. Or like the policeman of your life that you never thought you had. All that kind of stuff. That's what they're trying to make AI become. But then you have to also realize some people just want the world to burn. Some people want that Terminator storyline to actually happen. And you can tell the ones that are sitting there like, no, I don't really want that to happen, but I think that this is going to be a very big deal. Like, because, it makes them relevant. Some people actually really want this stuff to go down like that. I believe that, one way or another, the world will destroy itself. Similar to that Twilight Zone episode that the monsters are due on Maple Street, that's what I think the world will end like. It's going to be like a giant riot caused in multiple different kind of situations out there in like city blocks, neighborhoods, and all that stuff where the electricity will work for a moment, then it won't work. People will start being very suspicious of others, if not already. And like, if anything, we are our own worst enemy. We are the monsters, if you think about it. That's what that would be. But all in all, though, I don't want to go ahead and throw too many stones at you like that. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to like AI monitoring, just understand this. Yeah, chances are there's somebody listening and watching you, and they're possibly finding that gray loophole in order to do such a thing. So you got to go ahead and just understand like what situation you live in now. Find another way of doing stuff. Find another way to be like, yourself and all those kind of things. And at the same time, you could always just say to hell with it and just play the game anyway. I plan on doing that one. You want to bar me from that, huh? Well, hey, you can't stop me from playing any of the other games I got. It's the funniest thing in the world, but, there's always another way of doing things, man. At least you always have freedom of choice in that regard. But how do you guys want to go about it? Like, how do you guys feel about the oncoming rise of all this stuff? Do you feel scared of it? Do you feel like you need to really communicate about things? Do you really need to want to get away from it all? And actually, here's my whole remedy for getting away from stuff like that. You know that a long time ago, you used to have to log into this stuff, right? I'm not talking about using like one of your main email caps to get in. I'm talking about like actual username and passwords and stuff, right? Okay, well, figure this. For every login, there's a log out. Use your logouts. At any moment you can. Log the hell out. Turn it off. It can be the most beautiful thing in the world, logging out and all that stuff. Like sometimes, dare I say this, I know some of you guys are really into high definition and 4K and all that stuff, but anytime you can play your game offline, go for that. You know what I'm saying? Or like, here's the beautiful part, like you could go ahead and take a look at one of your older consoles if you're like me. Hop on that. To hell with all that other stuff sometimes. It might sound like it's antisocial as hell, but, with the way things are going and how we all have to keep, like, a false smile on our face and try to be like, yeah, we're highly sociable today. You need a break. You really need to. And also, while we're on the subject here, it's kind of stupid for this stuff to play out, too. Because, there are places out there where you have to keep up appearances, where you have to act like you're not having a bad day, where you are pretty much there for 8 hours listening to the most whining, conniving, entitled nonsense that the world has ever seen before from other people that are like you, who think that all this stuff, there's no problem with it because they live in a false idealistic world too. It's called a 9-to-5 job. And when that 9-to-5 job, note as I'm saying that, that's just a label. And note, when you're in any of those kind of jobs, whether they cut your hours back or not, when the job's over, job's over. You're allowed to be whoever the hell you want to be. Even for a little bit in that job, but you still have to maintain the standards of said job. But the thing about it is, that's when you're done dealing with people telling you what to do. Can you imagine going through all that and then turning on your favorite video game and then, you lose a match, you lose a round, or like things have not been going well for you that night and you just feel as though you're about to lose it and cuss it out only for like a batch of codes to tell you that you're banned for at least like a numerous amount of days and all that stuff unjustly? Do you see how stupid that is? Yeah, so to hell with AI when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I said, the technology is there for the right reasons, but what denotes the right reasons and why in the hell would anybody need this kind of stuff instead of just understanding that the peripherals to protect yourself online are already right there? If you're dealing with somebody that you don't like and you don't want no communications from, use the block button. If you're dealing with somebody in that same degree, but you just don't want to hear from them, use the mute button. And if it's just somebody you don't like, unfollow. Or like whenever you're in a lobby or something like that, go ahead and mute all the people in it. There's so many ways of doing this stuff, and you finding a way to mess this up. Because now, you need more and more stuff to get involved that you never really needed there in the first place. I mean, it involves being an active participant on your part, but trust me, y'all, you have more control than you think. You're just trying to control other people. And now that system is trying to control you and set other people to be, once again, fakes outside of being fake. I ain't down with the fake shit, y'all. Like really pay attention. I mean, same thing what I said about values and greed earlier. The one thing is, we value this stuff. That's why we keep them in business like we do. But their greed is going to make us really rethink this stuff a little bit. Now, like I said, I'm 2 years in myself, so I don't really have to worry about paying on this membership thing. But you know what? That third year is looking really optional right now. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens when it gets here. But all I know is, like, when it comes to Game Pass, though, like, what is like the largest thing for Game Pass now? Because they don't have Xbox Live anymore, allegedly. But like Xbox Live will usually give you 4 years of Game Pass, right? And usually the highest appeal was like, what was it, like 45 or something like that? Or wait, in Delaware it's usually different. It's like $40 for 3 months. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just can't help but laugh at this stuff. I mean, you really can't. Like, you try to figure out what's most valuable to you. Like, I love video games, I love comics, I love movies, I love, animated features and all that kind of stuff. And even then, well, you can include that with movies, but what I'm saying is I'm just throwing things out to you all that I'm interested in. And, like, why are all these companies that are floating around here just trying to ruin this stuff? When it's the future and everybody should be out here making content, should be a variety of things. Everybody can make money doing what they love to do. It's always something, isn't it? And then there's always that one jackass that's got to be offended by everything to go ahead and put something else out here because God knows they don't have control in anything else. So this is their one way of doing things. Pretty damn sad, huh? But don't you worry about it, though. Here in the School of J-Man, I ain't worried about none of that nonsense. I'm going to keep doing what I got to do until I'm in the grave. And as for all of you, you all should be out here just doing the things that you want to do. Because, like, they can't control us unless we're willing to give up that control. See what I'm saying? But all in all, though, well, actually, hold on. Before we leave, those of you that know this, keep living well and doing it. Those of you that are figuring it out, figure it out quickly before they try to trap you in. And, of course, keep listening to J360 Radio and hanging out with me. J360 Jam 75 is happening tomorrow at 10 at the same time. So, till we meet up again, take care of yourselves and just be aware. This is J-Man signing off. Peace.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.